Well, hello, and welcome to the Wellness Garden Tool Shed. I thought I'd do this a little differently today and do it outside because it is a beautiful day. And I'm starting to think that fall's going to come a little sooner this year. And so I wanted to at least show off a little bit of the yard because it is to promote wellness. We've got lemongrass, lemon verbena, rosemary, blueberries, squash. Down below, I've got other sorts of goodies down there too. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is exactly what I do. I am a manifesting mentor. What does that mean? I have taken my 37 plus years behind the chair doing hair, talking to clients, counseling them, mentoring them, coaching them, and now put it into more of a program for people that are looking straight for that. And so what makes me able to do this? Well, I grew up in Oakland, and it was a tough area growing up. So I learned some life skills, that has taught me to be resilient. It has taught me how to face my fears and to conquer those fears and move forward. I went to a church that was a little on the crazy side. They were apostolic Pentecostal, had a lot of rules, and definitely did not fit in with most of the people in the neighborhoods and surrounding neighborhoods and school and stuff like that, which was very urban and low income. And so there were lots of fights, lots of violence, lots of scary stuff. So everybody has a past. Everybody has something that they grew up with. I am a Gen Xer, and I've come to learn that I would say I know more people that have been sexually assaulted as a kid than not. That's pretty disturbing, isn't it? But that's just the way it was. And, that was because both parents are gone working. There's the whole latchkey thing. And it was really interesting because I did have a key, yet my mom wasn't at work. So not sure why I had that key, but I did. So anyway, but my point is, we all go through these things. And so what the church gave me was, it gave me people who were interested in me, wanted to talk to me, whereas my parents were more of the generation of the silent generation. So kids were very separate. They didn't really talk to the parents. There was none of this getting deep with stuff. That's just not how they were, because their parents were from the Depression age where, you're on your own. So things cycle down, right? Every generation has their strengths and their weaknesses. And so anyway, so my parents were not exactly those doting parents, and they definitely believed in tough love. So we were the epitome of not being spoiled. So whenever we got things, it was either for Christmas or it was our birthdays. And then on holidays, my mom would always do a little special stuff. She really liked the holidays. That was really cool. So when we wanted something, then the part that was good with my parents were they were never the type to say, oh gosh, well, how are you going to do it? You can't afford it. And like put all this drama and fear energy into like, how are you going to get this done? What they did do was like, well, if you can figure out a way to do it, go for it. So that allowed me to go for it. I became super resourceful. So at 14, I bought my own horse. I got a job. I was cleaning houses, babysitting, doing all that stuff. And I had found a place for my horse, and one of the church's neighborhood church fellow people there, it was the pastor's house. He had a barn. And so I got my horse at 14 years old. And, then to get a car, I had to buy my own car. So I got a job working in a restaurant when I was 17 years old, and so forth. So I actually wrote a memoir about this because of the duality of having the church and having a kind of a violent urban area going to school. I kind of wore two faces. I had the church going one that believed in God and prayed and did all the things. It was very helpful to all those people. And then I had the naughty side. Again, we all have shadow sides, right? And so got in lots of fights, swore like a truck driver. We're talking like in first grade, okay? Started smoking in the third grade, okay? So we were a little fast. Pulled the gun on kids. In the fourth grade. It was just terrible, right? So you kind of grow up quickly with those kind of things. So, but my point is about your beliefs. So I do a lot of shadow work. I have a lot of shadow stuff myself. I've seen miracles where people pray in the church and things come true. And then I've seen bad things in the church too, where there was actually um, a murder in one of the neighborhood houses. I used to go to children's church at these people's house, and they actually killed their daughter. And she even told everybody that they were going to kill her, and everybody kind of ignored her, and therefore she died. So that was pretty crazy. I was 12 when that happened. I had a friend also that her house burned down, and her baby brother died in it when I was also 12. So 11 or 12, something like that. Regardless, there was a lot of craziness going on in that time that gave me reason to pray for things to be okay. And then I ended up being okay. Well, when I decided that I wanted to leave the church told me, well, once you know all these things and you leave, you're going to be punished worse because you know better. Well, so because I wasn't sure about that, I kind of believed it. Then I had some pretty hairy things happen close together. Actually, within 5 weeks, I overdosed on drugs, and then, I was sexually assaulted at a party when I was 17, and it was just kind of a lot. So I kind of believed I was being punished, and I still wasn't going back because I didn't like all the rules and I didn't want to be a hypocrite and stuff. But I still believed like maybe I was supposed to do better because I'm chosen. Well, no. So then I ended up getting pregnant at 20 years old, and everyone told me I was going to ruin my life. And honestly, I didn't believe I was ruining my life. So my beliefs overpowered everybody else's beliefs. I just believed that I was partying, experimenting. I accidentally overdosed. It's like drinking too much or whatever. I had never planned on doing drugs for the rest of my life. I figured this is what you do when you're experimenting, and then you quit and you go. Now, unfortunately, I've had tons of friends that did stay in it and have died at very young. And some of them have been accidentally overdosed. So I was one of the lucky ones to get out of it and not be sucked into that whole thing. But one of the beliefs I carried through from growing up from my family was that you're really not considered an adult and nobody's going to take you seriously or listen to you unless you have a house, something you own. So that was my belief. And my belief was by 25, that should be happening. So as a single mom, a young single mom, I bought my first condo when I was 25 years old. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I learned tools in the early 90s when I was working in the salon, building my clientele, about personal development and kind of manifesting and energy and law of attraction. And I started utilizing and practicing this, meditating, doing the whole 9 yards. And I literally met my husband doing that, and we're still together. And we've been together for 30 years. I think we'll be married this year. Will be like 29. But like, this stuff worked. I built a clientele. I went from being broke, a single mom at 21, living in this hood apartment where hookers are down the street and they would come smoke crack in the laundry room, which was feet from my door, to by 29. So this is 8 years later. I'm married. I have 3 properties because when I met my husband, he had his property, I had my property, and then we bought one together and then had another kid. That didn't happen by luck. I made that happen. Anybody can make that happen. You can make that happen. Not exactly in those ways, but you can make that. And I can teach you how to do that. So I have a lot of the receipts, as you could say, and it's worked. And I've kind of been showing people this in the salon. Now, some people just want to talk and not really change their situation. Some people get validation from being a victim or a martyr or whatever the case is. That's fine. But this is for people who actually do want change but don't know how to actually get to it. I mean, I built up a clientele without any walk-ins at a salon. We barely had walk-ins at the one place where we were doing personal development. And I built up a huge clientele just from word of mouth. That wasn't by accident. And so that's kind of what I'm into. That's what I can help you do. And I can help you find those blocks. Like for me, I know what my beliefs were to get ahead and what would help me be recognized as an adult in my family from what I was taught. Think about certain people. If you're born in an area that only sees gangs and fighting and violence on the streets and drug deals go down, what do you think is going to happen to that person? People do get out of it, but it is really hard to break some of those hardwired beliefs in your brain of what you think is only available to you. So that's where neuroplasticity comes into play, because you can rewire your brain, because we all have this internal belief system that's going on. And beliefs are thoughts that you've thought about over and over. Now, beliefs are not necessarily true. Just because you believe them, it makes it true. But in general, it's not necessarily true. So learning to unlearn some of that stuff is where the real work is. And that's, again, what I can help you with. So I tend to use cards just to kind of show you where your energy is, where you might have these blocks, and where you might have hidden talents. And that's how I incorporate it. But I do not use it as a prediction. It's more of a prescription. So this is the energy we're working with. This is where it could go unless you change it. Or this is if you want to go, let's start working on building that energy into something tangible. Also, too, when I was talking to this woman today on LinkedIn, we're actually going to have a little coffee date next week. And she's a makeup artist, so we were kind of sharing stories and stuff. And I told her that, my beliefs were that, whatever I put my mind to, I'll just get it done. I am one of those people. I'm a doer. I have a lot of energy, undiagnosed ADHD, dyslexic. So I have a lot of thoughts going on. And so that energy has allowed me to write 2 books. I wrote the memoir, Manifesting Me, which kind of tells you the whole tale of the drama of growing up. And then I wrote another book. It's a novel, but it's called I Am Not a Ghost. And the reason I wrote it, it's a very dark book. It is not happy, and it is not for the faint of heart, because it touches on people's beliefs in Tanzania regarding people with albinism, and how they believe that somebody with albinism is not a real person. They're ghosts. They don't feel pain, so therefore you can do whatever you want to them. They believe that their bones crushed up into powder is used for remedies. They think that having intercourse with one at whatever age helps cure AIDS. There's a lot of really bad things where they cut body parts off for good luck charms. I mean, people are being hunted by other people because of their beliefs. Their beliefs are so strong that they're willing to commit murder and horrific, torturous atrocities to people, to another a human being. And the younger the person is, and that screams more, provides more magic. That's how powerful beliefs are. It makes people do some heinous things. So that's the dark side of it. That, it is a dark book, but if you want to go check it out and you're into dark stuff, there's a light at the end of the tunnel on that one. Okay. Just saying. But I think we do need to address some of the dark stuff, because a lot of the personal development kind of only goes with the positivity when there are negative things. Okay. Like I said, I was sexually assaulted when I was 17 years old. I kind of think it might have even been earlier. And there's part of me that doesn't remember one time in my life between second half of kindergarten and the first half of first grade. And I'm not going to put something there that's not, but my memory is pretty good, and it goes far back to when I was in my crib and transferred into a bed. So not remembering that part is kind of weird to me, but I do think I had a weird obsession with sexual assault. I won't say the word because I don't want to get flipped on here, at a young age that is kind of unnatural. And I also, had experienced some bad stuff where, our neighbor threatened my mom to kill her or something, and actually came over to the house to beat her up. And that was in Hayward. That was in Oakland. We moved to Oakland after that. And, I witnessed one of my friends getting the crap beat out of her by her stepfather. And I've never seen any adult punch a kid or kick them before like that. So that was really scary too. So there's lots of things that weren't exactly good, but you know, you want to look at these things and like, what was this for? What was the experience? What did this teach me? What is it? Do I want to get out of this, or do I want to keep repeating this? What is all of this? But it is like, you know, why would you think you deserve to be with somebody that's going to do this to your children or something like that? There's a lot of these questions that would go through my mind as a young person. Well, so anyway, that's why I wrote that book as well. But I have that drive, and let me tell you, no one thought I was writing a book. I didn't even read for the longest time. So anyway, stranger things do happen when you put your mind to it. So I'm going to pull 3 cards. How this works is you pick a number 1 through 3. This is going to show how the energy works, and that the card that you pick will be your emphasis for the day, or whenever you see this, not the day, whenever you see this, this is kind of the message that you'll need to hear. I'm using the Fairy Tarot deck by Radleigh Valentine, and that's because I'm outside and I like fairies. I thought it would be appropriate to do this in the wellness garden. So the first card, if you pick card number 1, this is for you. This message is for you. Prince of Winter. All right, something's about to speed up and start moving in the direction that you want. You might have to be making a split decision. There's no time to procrastinate on this. You are being called to do fast, but don't be impulsive. Be logical about this, okay? So this is something that's going to come up, and it's going to be lightning quick, okay? So wonder what that is for you. But you need to address it, whatever it is. And then let's see. Yeah, it's a sudden, swift change. I just was looking at what it says is actually seek out an intellectual solution to your problem. The need to act quickly and decisively. Sudden and unexpected changes. So you're required to move quickly. If you picked card number 2, 5 of Summer. All right, we're not seeing the silver lining behind what's going on. This is kind of one of those cards where you've been disappointed and things didn't quite go the way you wanted, but let's not cry over spilt milk. This card is a lot like that. We could be making a mountain out of a molehill. So let's not do that. Let's see again this is what it's talking about. That actually touches on what I'm just talking about. Here I'm talking about all this shadow work and dark stuff and sexual assaults and women getting beat, and kids getting beat. But what do we learn from that? What is a silver lining? It's hard to find a silver lining when something tragic happens. But maybe you just don't know what it is yet. And maybe you won't even know in this lifetime. But at some point, there's got to be something. Maybe it's because you're supposed to help somebody else. Maybe that's what it is. But there's something with this disappointment where it's caused you some sadness and grief, that there is a silver lining that you can use it in some way, shape, or form. If you pick card number 3, 5 of Autumn. Oh, we got some 5s. 5s are about change, and people do not like change. So this is about finances. So I would say there is a decision that needs to be made quickly, and maybe you need to seek out legal counsel because you are disappointed about something that didn't quite go right, and it's about finances and a change that you're not really, that's affecting your finances. Now, if I thought about this for me, I have definitely been disappointed about my finances because I'm a victim of a Ponzi scheme as we speak. But I do believe there's going to be some resolution or some quick solution that's going to be happening soon. At least this is how I would see it for me. What is it for you that you see? So remember, sudden changes, and it's regarding the disappointment in your money. So maybe this is the upswing for that. Hopefully it is for you. So remember, our energy does affect stuff. Yes, money comes and goes. Yes, it is heartbreaking when you feel like you're broke or somebody took something from you. But how can you share this experience to make it so other people can learn, or you can help, or suddenly change that attitude to shift your beliefs so that you can gain what you want to gain? That's how this energy stuff works. So if you're interested in it, Go to my website, wellnessgardentoolshed.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this. And let's just, when we work on ourselves to be better, it makes such a better world to live in, because when people are hateful, when people are mean, or people are struggling or stealing from you, it's because they have a scarcity mentality. They don't think there's enough for everybody. And also, happy, caring people, I should just say happy people, they don't put other people down. They want other people to be successful too. When they're successful in their own world, then they don't care what everybody else is doing, because there's enough to go around. There really, truly is. There is abundance everywhere. Just notice it, and then the universe will start helping you notice more of that for you too. All right, have that. Have a great week.